welcome. Today I'm reading with the Astro Tarot, the new deck. This is looking for some positive messages for you on a personal level. This is not what's going on in the world right now. This is what's going on with you. What can you look forward to? What can you be hopeful for? We're using a tarot. So tarot is sometimes challenging to find the positivity, but I'm going to do my best to do that with today's readings. But it's also a great opportunity to see a flip through of how this new Astro Tarot works. So I'm shuffling cards today. Hopefully I can bring a similar, I just done this reading and I didn't press record. So I had 5 really nice readings. So let's see what I can bring through for you now. And it's interesting because the first card that fell out when I was recording, well, I wasn't recording, but I was doing the readings, was the Sun card. It fell out. And I said, looking for a positive reading out of the tarot can be challenging sometimes because there's a bit of intensity in the tarot. And the first card that fell out was the Sun card. Now, the 2 best cards in the tarot deck, or the most positive cards, are the Star, brings positive results, and the Sun brings vitality, it brings strength, it brings joy, sunshine. And again, the cards are saying we're starting with a positive card because we want this reading to try and find the positivity behind what's going on in your life right now. It's funny, this card also, both of these cards both fell out in the last one. It's a reading that somebody needed. So let's try and bring that through again. And I'm going to bring a little bit from memory as well, what I read in the last reading. Now, this card here is showing me a person that is trapped by a mental prison. This is the Gemini representing this, and it's a thought card. It's about thoughts that are going on. The Gemini energy brings racing mind. It brings a very busy mind, a mind that never shuts down. And I feel like all these racing thoughts, or this mental instability. Now, it can be lots of thoughts and ideas, but it can also be mind fog. It can also be not being able to pull through a thought in a clear way because your mind just feels overloaded or overwhelmed. Now, it could also be here in the last reading that I'd done was showing me that the person has that inner critic holding you back, telling you you're not good enough or not giving you the confidence to move forward. In this spread, it's showing to have faith there's going to be a positive outcome here. Once you can take the blinders off. Now, this card here showed me when I read it the first time that there is 2 parts of this scenario. The first is what's going on in your head, which is very different to what's actually going on in reality. So there's the reality, the physical of what life is really like, and then there's how you take it in your own head. Now, the defending card, the 7 of Wands, is saying that you're having to defend what you think, what you say, having that filter over your speech. Now, Swords represents your words. It represents sharp-edged words as well, because words can be very sharp. They can cut very deeply, and you're either having to defend the things you're saying because it's insulting somebody or somebody's taking it the wrong way. You're having to filter and be careful what you say. Now, the thing that's happening this week is we have Mercury moving into Aries. This is Aries. Aries is a fire sign, and this card here is represented by Aries. Now, Mercury rules Gemini. This card here is represented by Gemini. So I feel the energy we're picking up on right now is they're taking place with Mercury moving into Aries. I think it's on the 16th of this week, this month. So happening this week. Now, we also have a new moon taking place in Aries. So very heavy Aries energy this week, which could be causing clouded emotions, clouded judgment. It's showing me energy of not being able to get a clear thought in your head, not having clarity. The moon does that though. The moon's energy in tarot is when things are not clear. There's no clarity. The sun brings the clarity, but the moon brings the situation being veiled or disguised or unclear. There's a blindfold on here. So it's showing the energy to be very cloudy, very, very hard to pull through a very clear thought. Or it could just be that inner critic where you're feeling like you're having to defend yourself against your inner critic or defend the things that you're saying or your beliefs. And I feel this is heightened by this week's energy of the new moon in Aries, but also, which is the sun and moon in Aries, but also Mercury moves into Aries as well. And that then brings in communication. Communication gets trapped in this Aries energy of having to defend yourself, having to be that conflicting energy, tense communication, or having to really be careful what you say here. And then the moon there also says that there's going to be a little bit of unclarity. Things won't be quite clear. People will misconstrue the things that you say. People won't take them at face value. People will not take what you mean. They'll take it the wrong way, and you'll feel like you're on the defensive, or somebody around you will be on the defensive, and that's because of the planets that are taking place at the moment. But looking for the most positive message here, it's saying that this is a little bit in your head. Find a way to find clarity. Even though we have the new moon there with the moon and the sun wants to bring the clarity. So we need to find a way to find some clarity, to find the positive outcome here. Once I feel you take the blinders off, it's from the thought prison, the mind prison, I feel you'll start to see things for what they really are here. Here's our sun card. It's a little ray of sunshine to the reading. Even though I can tell what you're experiencing may feel like a tower moment. The cards are saying, is this tower moment... It will be challenging. There'll be challenges you'll have to overcome. But will that be to help you move forward? The sun just wants to find what nourishes you in your life. It wants to find your vitality. It wants to find what fuels your life, your every day, and your soul. Where do you find the fuel? Now, what is it that you're needing to release or let go of? The Tower card. In order for you to be able to find balanced priorities here. There's discipline required to overcome the challenges around you. Tower card does bring in challenges, and usually you know what those challenges are. It's showing a little bit of chaotic energy around you. Now the Sun card says we're looking for the silver lining here. We're looking for the sun, the positive outcome to this situation. So you're probably already aware of the Tower card moment that you're going through, the chaos, the drama, the difficulties and challenges that you're facing. Now, how do you overcome them? It's saying that you need to engage in the Capricorn energy. This is a Pentacles. It's ruled by, in this card, ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn says, okay, I'm going to put the boots on. I'm going to do what it takes. Whatever it takes, I'm going to do what I need to do to move through this situation. It's an effort card. It's a card that says stand your ground. It's a card that says be willing to put the work in, be willing to make an effort, be willing to be motivated here. The outcome, the result here is the sun. It's a positive outcome. It's the vitality. It's the inner strength. It's saying, how can you shine your inner light? How can you be resourceful here? How can you find your strength in this situation to move through? Well, the answer here is the Capricorn. It's the 8 of Pentacles saying that you need to put in an effort here to get through this situation. They're just challenges, but challenges are meant to be overcome. Looking for a positive outcome for this reading, we've got the Sun card. It's one of the most positive cards in the deck. So you're going to get through this. There's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a silver lining here. There's energy of you will make it through this situation, but you need to be willing to put in the work. You need to be willing to put in an effort. It's not going to go away on its own. It's not going to be a situation, ignore it and it goes away. This is something you need to take action on. It's something you need to be disciplined in. You need to put in effort to get through this situation, but you will have a positive outcome. Now here we have 2 pentacles and 1 sword. So we've got physical energy and mental activity. Now we have the 9 of Pentacles. We're delving into this one here. 9 of Pentacles, it's a harvest. It's the energy of how hard you've worked and seeing some kind of reward for your effort. Ruled by Virgo says that you've been meticulous in your planning. You've been very structured. You've been very goal orientated here. But that is what will bring the reward for you. And it says, are you ready for the hard work to finally pay off? The Two of Pentacles, it brings in the energy of Taurus and Capricorn. There's a balance that needs to be here. It's asking, where is the imbalance in your life? Where are you not getting enough assistance? Where are you putting in the lion's share of the work and others are just sitting back and resting while you're doing the work? What is it here that you need to balance in your life in order to get the outcome that you desire, which is the independence, which is the harvest, which is the payoff, the reward for effort? Now, if we're looking for the positive in this reading, we're saying there's going to be a reward for effort. This is the positive to this reading. But what's it going to take to get to this situation or this harvest or this payoff for the hard work that you've put in? Balance is required here. Take a look at all areas of your life. In the last reading I did, it was the Temperance card representing this. Now, the Temperance card is all about bringing together all of the elements. There's all of the elements hidden within the Temperance card, and it says that you need to balance out every area of your life in able to feel centered, to feel grounded, to feel like you're getting your spiritual or your spiritual needs met. You're not neglecting any part of it. Your emotional needs also need to be met here, and so does your mental activity. You need to feel like you're being challenged or being fulfilled on a mental level as well here. You're needing to find balance. Now, coming back to this card of the Two of Pentacles, we're talking about balance on the physical. We're talking about the physical needs, the grounding. We're talking about your finances. We're talking about balancing your finances, your incoming and your outgoing. We're talking about balancing your intake of food, balance, because that's a physical, it's on the physical need. Now, Taurus loves food. It's all about the senses. So here it's saying balancing the food intake as well, like the nutrients, and making sure you're getting enough of all of the nutrients. Now, the balance between Taurus and Capricorn is that Capricorn has the stamina. It has the long-term ability to put in an effort over a long period of time to overcome whatever challenges. It's ruled by Saturn, to overcome by whatever challenges are put in its place. Nothing is impossible for you. And this energy also, I'm feeling of the Saturn here in within this energy is overcoming the obstacles that are placed before you, but balancing out between what your long-term future project and goals are compared to your current comfort level. So do you wanting to achieve without stepping too far out of your comfort zone, which is the Taurus energy. Taurus wants to feel safe. It wants to feel secure in its surroundings. It wants to feel like it has everything it needs to be comfortable in life. Getting to a point, for some of you, that independence or financial independence is not about having lots of money. It's just about feeling comfortable in your spending, having enough for what you need. And it's about balancing here. Now, the Two of Swords is mental. There's a lot of mental anguish going on. A lot of back and forth here. Like one minute it feels one way, next minute it feels another. And I'm not even saying it feels, because this is the card of mental realm. It's about your speech. It's about how you're thinking. I'm feeling this is thoughts because it's Gemini based. So it's showing that the energy, lots of ideas or thoughts, but they're not always the ones. Not every thought's a winner is what I'm picking up here. Not every thought is the right thought. So it's about sifting through these lots of ideas. I'm showing me a lot of ideas coming through and sifting through the ones that are keepers, the ones that don't force you out of your comfort zone, the ones that allow you to be in it for the long haul, because whatever situation this is, it feels like it's a long-term plan. So it's saying that quick, fast fixes are not the answer here. It's having a long-term strategy for this situation, not the quick fix. And I'm feeling this card is showing me that there's two things here. You're looking at a path of quick fix, and you're looking at a path of long-term stability. Stability being the Taurus energy, long-term being the Capricorn energy. So this card of the Two of Swords says, what are you dealing with? What are these two thoughts that are not aligned. They're clashing with each other. So one of them feels to be the short-term fix, what's going on in the short term versus your long-term goals. Now, the positive of this reading is saying that there will be a payoff. There will be reward for effort. In order to get to that, you need to be able to have a long-term goal. You need to be able to have the stability and the endurance to pursue this long-term, but without having to go too far out of your comfort zone too fast. So this is a steady journey. It's a steady step here. And it's saying that you need to get those two things aligned. So instead of having this idea of where we're going to do a quick fix versus that long, steady flow for that permanent structure, that permanent payoff or results at the end. So it feels to be a slow journey rather than that quick fix seems to be the right angle for this one here. But the positive card here says that there will be a reward for your effort. It will pay off in the future. So for this reading, I want to bring in the guidebook because I want to show you there's beautiful stories within each of the elements for the guidebook, and I wanted to show you because I put a lot of work into the guidebook, telling the story for each of the suits, but also the journey of the soul with the major arcana. So I'm going to use the guidebook to bring your messages through today for this spread. So first card we have on the table, and my hand's on the Page of Cups, so I'm going to go with the Page of Cups first of all. Now the guidebook is a PDF. You click on the menu entry and it will take you through to the explanation. The Page of Cups. Now the Page of Cups upright keywords are sensitivity. For its main word, its reverse word is emotional immaturity. Upright, it says curiosity, creative inspiration, emotional openness, innocence and playfulness. In the reverse, it's moodiness, avoidance, immature reactions, oversensitivity, escapism and insecurity. So in the story as told by the water signs, it is aligned with Pisces. The Page of Cups is the dreamer of the water suit. Soft, intuitive, imaginative, and deeply attuned to the subtle emotional currents around them. Pisces brings sensitivity, wonder, and a porous heart to the page, making them open to inspiration, synchronicity, and the magic that moves beneath the surface of life. The page begins a new cycle, one rooted in innocence, curiosity, and the willingness to feel without pretense. This is the emotional beginner, the one who approaches the heart with openness rather than armor. In the water sign journey here, the Page of Cups is the first emotional spark. It's the inner child, alive and listening. Pisces teaches this page to trust the whispers of the soul, the dreams, the symbols, and the subtle nudges that guide emotional growth. This page is sensitive, not because they are fragile, because they are receptive. They feel deeply, love easily, and imagine endlessly. In reverse, the Page of Cups becomes emotionally immature, overwhelmed by feelings that they don't know how to process. So the next card is the King of Wands. So I'm just going back to the menu and I'll select the King of Wands. The King of Wands in the upright is charismatic, in the reverse it's arrogance. So here in the story told by the fire signs, this is aligned with Leo. The King of Wands is a sovereign. He's sovereign of fire. The suit of fire or suit of wands is the fire energy. The one who leads through presence, vision, and magnetic confidence. Leo brings warmth, pride, and natural authority to this king, making him the archetype of charisma or a charismatic leadership. The king channels the radiance into purpose. He is a visionary, the commander, and the one who sees the bigger picture and moves with certainty. His fire is steady, intentional, and inspiring. It's a flame that others gather around. In the fire sign journey, the King of Wands is the master of direction. Leo infuses this king with courage, charisma, and the ability to influence without force. He leads by example, not pressure. His fire is compelling and not coercive. Then we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords. In the upright, it is about clarity. In the reverse, it's about mental fog. So are you experiencing mental fog at the moment? What is clouding your thoughts is the question that the card is asking you today. This is told by the zodiac sign of Aquarius. The Ace of Swords is the first spark of the air sign journey. It's the moment that the mind clears, the truth crystallizes, and a new idea arrives. Aquarius brings innovation, objectivity, and the vision thinking to this card, making it the sword that cuts through outdated beliefs and open to the path to higher understanding. This is the suit of the mind and the thoughts and words. Aquarius is the rebel of the zodiac. It's the one who breaks patterns, questions assumptions, and sees the world from a vantage point that others miss. In this ace, Aquarius delivers a mental awakening. It's a sudden insight, a shift in perception, a truth that cannot be ignored. This is the sword that liberates the mind. In the air sign journey, the Ace of Swords is the first breath of clarity. It is the moment that the fog lifts, the moment that the idea arrives, and the moment that the mind aligns with the truth. Aquarius infuses this card with objectivity, detachment, and the ability to see the bigger picture. So the Ace of Swords, it's not emotional, it's sharp and uncompromising. It reveals what is real, what is possible, and what must be cut away. Interesting, it wants to bring through the same cards again. So I'm not going to reread the two cards that were just in the last spread. I think what the cards are telling me is that I need to intuitively interpret it as well. I let them ones go without doing the intuitive interpretation. So I'm going to read one more card from the guidebook, and then I'm going to do the intuitive interpretation for this reading. So the card that we've been given this time is the Five of Wands. Wands in the upright position is competition. It's ruled by Aries. In the reverse, it's misalignment. So as told by the fire signs, it's aligned with Aries. The Five of Wands is the moment the fire journey where the energy becomes dynamic, it's competitive, and it's chaotic. Aries brings assertiveness, it brings drive, and it brings instinct to prove oneself, making this card the archetype of creative friction. The Five disrupts the stability, not destructively but productively. This is the fire that will test itself, the clash that reveals strength, the challenge that sharpens direction. In the fire signs journey, the Five of Wands is trial by fire. It asks, is your fight worth fighting? It can look like a team or a group that's not working in sync. It can also be a clash of egos. You see an ego clash here. So let's read this intuitively. First of all, we are sandwiched by two, and in the first reading that I done, we had very similar readings. So we had a water sign, which was nostalgia, inside of two fire signs. So what this is showing me is that they want me to reread what I did on the first reading that I done that I didn't record, because it was a very important reading. So they were showing me that the world right now, or the energy around you, feels very fast paced. Fire energy, or the fire suits, are the fastest pace energy, whereas I had the nostalgic card, which is the Six of Cups in the middle before. So it was showing a feeling of wanting to go back to when things weren't so fast, a time of nostalgia. Now, I don't know if that came in through a trigger, through a song or a smell, but something is making you long for simpler times when the world was slower, because right now everything just feels so fast. Days feel fast. The days seem to go by so quickly. The whole general energy of the world is very fast paced, and you're just wanting to slow things down. You're wanting to step in and feel every experience, and this is a cup. So you're wanting to feel everything, but it's all just happening too fast to really engage in the day, to engage in life. Life just feels like it's passing you by so fast right now. So with the Page of Cups in the middle, we've got this energy of wanting to return back to that page-like energy, that innocence energy, the energy of the page, of the childlike energy. And given that the original spread had the Six of Cups, which is the two children playing on the beach, it's the nostalgia for simpler times, childlike times, going back to simpler things, the simpler pleasures, the feelings of not having to deal with the chaos that goes on in the world right now, the chaos in just living in general, and having to, you know, make things work in your life. So wanting to be able to return to simpler times, or it could even be a little bit of escapism going on here, because I feel like this is because it's ruled by Pisces energy. I feel like it's talking about that escapism element here, and it's saying that you're wanting to escape the fast-paced, chaotic energy that's going on, even though you may not have any specific chaotic issue that you're dealing with. It's just the fact that the world it moves a lot faster than what it used to. So you're wanting to escape that world, go back to find past joys, find nostalgia moments, listen to old music, watch old movies, whatever it is that makes you just feel like you're living in old times, living in days gone by. That's the energy. It's escape. You're wanting to escape this energy, this timeline that we're on that feels just too fast and too chaotic. It feels like you're butting heads against everything. There's clashes of egos. There's just conflicts, petty dramas wherever you go. It's just nothing simple. Nothing feels easy or just simple. It feels fast-paced energy. Now, the King of Wands is the energy of stepping into rulership or leadership, and it's saying, are you honoring your role as a leader? So this is where people look up to you, and it feels like you're wanting to just step back from that role, step back for a moment, to saying that sometimes you need compassion, sometimes you need that sensitivity, you need emotional support at times. You don't want to be the one that has to be the leader here, the ruler here, the one that people look up to, the one that people rely on. You sometimes just want to be the one that needs that emotional support as well. So it's asking you to step back for a moment to tend to your inner child, to tend to the emotional energy or your emotional needs, or just step back from the fast pace just for a moment in time, just to reground yourself. Engage in escapism, whatever that form is for you. It's saying that just wanting to step out of the hustle bustle for the moment, the busyness of life, how fast-paced things are. That when you just pull the covers over your head and don't go to work, it feels like you just want to just slow things down. And have you ever wondered how when you have a day off, how slow that day goes? So here it's showing needing to slow things down. I'm also picking up energy about looking about how fast it's taken to get to the point you are in your life now, and it feels like a blink of an eye between childhood, days gone by, and where you are now. You blinked, you closed your eyes and blinked, and all of a sudden you're the age you are now, and you're wondering how that happened so fast, and you're just wanting to slow time down a little bit. So this is showing me somebody that's really aware of how fast time does go. So you're fighting with this energy of having to live in this world, this fast-paced world, but wanting to escape into other realms or other nostalgic energy here as well. Now, looking for the positive here, I feel like it's a bit of a break that you're needing to take. You're in this shows a very good position. It says, and it's asking, are you honoring your needs, whether that's emotional needs or whether that's your role that others look up to. And this card here says, can you transform rivalry into growth? So you're really caught between growth and fast-paced energy of modern times that we live in, and wanting to step into simpler times or simpler energy. So it's saying that maybe there's times where you need to nurture that energy with this compassion card or a cups energy. Nurture that part of yourself and allow you time just to slow down. You don't have to be so fast paced all the time. Hope you enjoyed that reading. Hopefully I recorded it this time, and I hope you enjoyed the little flip through of the new Astro Oracle. The Astro Oracle brings in the energies of the tarot and the astrology suits, and shows you how each of the signs are aligned to a particular tarot card. So it gives you a deeper layer or level of understanding of the tarot based on the zodiac signs. So, and it's a really easy transition between astrology and tarot. They're very connected. So it gives a bit of extra energy to your readings, but also helps you engage in the energies based on the zodiac sign. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching.